Dave Ramsey is wrong. Hi, I'm Sassy and welcome to my channel. So I have a lot of debt. I'm not proud. There are a few factors, not the least of which were the economy tanked in '08, and then I had a job where I didn't get a raise for 8 years. I looked around and the economy was such that I couldn't really get another job that paid more. I'd get to the end of the month and need groceries, but not have money and put groceries on the credit card and swear I'd pay it off next time, but I never had the money the next time. I tried Dave Ramsey's method, and here are a few observations. Disclaimer, if this worked for you, that's great, but this is why Dave Ramsey is wrong for me. Even 18, 15 years ago, $1,000 is not enough. Every time we tried to save it up, it would disappear. We had to get a water heater, we had to get car repairs, we had to get medical bills paid, vet bills. So we're constantly trying to save up the $1,000. And even now, when we're doing better, I was going to get a tax refund of $2,400 and I was going to pay off the student loans. And instead, we had to put it towards a home repair that cost $2,400. So basically, he wants you to stop paying the debt snowball to save up your emergency fund, but we spent so much time trying to save up our emergency fund, we could never pay down debt. So what I do now is split the money I have towards debt between the emergency fund and our credit cards. He says to drive a beater, to get a cheap car, calls it a beater. But let me tell you, I did that. When I first moved to Birmingham, it was a catch-22, needed a car to get a job, needed a job to get a car. So I bought a beater. It was pink. I loved that car. But it only lasted me a year. 15 years ago or so, I inherited money from my uncle, which was a blessing, and we bought my husband a new car with cash. And the following year, I bought an almost new car. It had been a rental car. It was only a year old. And it's paid off. So we have had these cars for 15 years that are still reliable versus buying a cheap beater where you have to sink money into it. How is that a good plan? I tried the envelope method and I felt like I was a 12-year-old asking myself for an allowance. We set aside this much for eating out and this much for spending money. We're out of eating out money and I feel like we can't eat out. And my husband points out we can use our spending money to eat out. So it just didn't work for me. Plus, I don't feel comfortable carrying around cash. Dave Ramsey says to get a second job, to deliver pizza or whatever, and to use gazelle intensity to pay off your debt. Firstly, when would I see my husband? When would you see your family? We have to live. We have to rest. And if we're only working and have gazelle intensity, we're never going to enjoy life. So what's the point in paying it off? He also never talks about other options like building your own business and finding other ways to increase income. He only says to work 2 jobs and cut expenses and eat rice and beans. Out of curiosity recently, because I haven't watched Dave Ramsey in probably 15 years, I clicked on one of his YouTube videos saying not to get a second mortgage or a cash out mortgage. And he flat out said it was stupid, or he said the people who do it are stupid. Either way, he used the word stupid, and he wasn't very constructive at all. And recently, with that home repair I mentioned, the reason we needed it is because there's water damage from the roof, and so now we need a new roof. However, we are out of borrowing power because, and I'm not proud, I have 4 credit cards, and they're all maxed out, and I'm still limping along with my student loan. Well, I'm in the process of getting a cash out mortgage right now, and let me break down for you the reasons why. We bought our house in '06, and we paid $140,000 for it. Last year, we refinanced for a shorter term and a lower interest rate, and they valued our house at $170,000. Our house right now was probably valued anywhere from $180,000 to $200,000. So we can get enough to not only get a new roof, but pay off all of those credit cards. So we're currently paying $800 for our mortgage, $150 times 4 for the credit cards, which is $600, and then another $225 for my student loan. It's $1,625. And you might say, but Jennifer, don't you and your husband both work? Aren't you dinks? Dual income, no kids? Well, yeah, but we have 5 dogs. I'm not crazy. We inherited 2 of them. But we have 5 dogs. And I kid you not, between food for the dogs, vet care, and pet meds, we pay more for the dogs each month than we do our mortgage. Our options for a new roof are we add more debt at a crazy high interest rate, or we just let our house fall in disrepair. Or we can tap into the equity in our house and get the house repaired. With a new mortgage where we pay off the credit cards, our payment will be $1,024, which gives us an extra $600 that we can use towards saving that magic $1,000 to have money for unexpected repairs and to put towards debt. Good old Dave says to order your debt from smallest to largest, pay off the smallest one and roll that payment into the next one, and so on. And he calls that a debt snowball. Well, that sounds good on paper. And let me tell you, I can make a good spreadsheet or budget on paper. But the reality is different than the budget on the paper. And I got a new job in 2017 with a raise, and I've gotten 2 promotions. And each time I've made that debt snowball plan on the spreadsheet, came up with how we're going to pay off our debt. And let me tell you, we have not. I've gotten it to where we're not adding to the debt, but we're basically just spinning our wheels. Things just come up all the time. Like I was going to use our tax refund to pay off my student loan, which would give us an extra $225 each month that we could put towards debt and actually make a dent in something. But we had to get the house repaired. Had to get a new dryer. The dryer quit. We had unexpected bills for the dogs. I fell and broke my arm, had more co-pays for the hospital and all the follow-up visits. Had to get surgery. That was fun. The new mortgage will have a fixed rate, interest rate. It'll be 5%. And the payment will actually pay down the debt. Not only will we have enough to buy a new roof, which we need, but we will pay off all the credit cards, and then we will have one payment. And yes, we're not getting rid of the debt. We're transferring the debt. I was looking at the credit card statement to see what our interest rate is, which is 18%, which is usury. And they have a little box on there that tells you if you only pay the minimum payment, it'll take 14 years to pay off one credit card, and we have 4. And then if we pay $172 each month, it'll take 3 years. So I can manage about that, about $200 right now. So that's, but for one card. And so we're looking at like 9 to 12 years to pay off the cards and just limp along with this ridiculous debt payment, where we can consolidate it all, use the equity in the house, and have $1,000 payment every month and more flexibility and breathing room. So Dave Ramsey, I say you are wrong, because this is a much better plan for us to get out of debt. Of course, this will only work if we then don't use the credit cards. And this is where credit is stupid, because if I close them, that will ding my credit. So we're going to have to use some self-control. But I think overall it's a better plan, and we'll have more flexibility each month and more comfort. So that's why Dave Ramsey is wrong. If you found value in this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Well, I forgot to search Dave Ramsey in incognito mode to watch other videos for research. Sigh. Look at my feed. And now the sun's out. Now the sun's out. Nope, that's not the first line. I've lost my place in the script. Yes, dear? Why, Dave is wrong. Yeah. There's an airplane.